Welcome back for the final episode on how to make a dating simulator. Last time we worked on creating the dialogue system, and today I'm going to make a little save system for the romance level to be taken into the next level. In order for us to save the game, we need to make a blueprint of type save game and just give it a name, and then we open it. And for our data, we're just going to create one variable of type integer. And after that we are going to set our integer as a map type, and a map, also known as a dictionary, is in Unreal an array of pair values. With this I can store the romance level per character name, and we can store multiple characters in this data file. Coming back to the character blueprint, we're going to add two more functions. One is going to be used for the saving, and one is going to be used for the loading. In the save function, the first thing I want to do is actually load the save slot and check whether this succeeded or not. If it succeeded, I want to cast the save data that we have to my save data. And if it failed, I'm just downplayed going to create a new data slot. The next thing I want to do for both conditions is add my data to the data set. And I just do that with the add node from map. The nice thing with the add node is that whenever I add my values to an existing value, instead of adding it, it just overrides the value. So I grab my current character name, I grab the current romance level, and I just pass them in the add slot. Then I also once again want to do this for the failed condition. So I just copy it over and do the exact thing. And once I've done that, I just simply save my data to the slot. Then I'm going to create the load function. This one is even easier to do. Once again, I'm just going to try and load the game slot. From there, again, a valid check. And this time around then, instead of overriding the existing data, I just want to pull from it. So I'll cast it to my game data. From there, I'm just going to grab the characters data. Then I'm going to try and find the data of my character. And if it can actually find it, then I'm just going to load the romance level. Then I'm going back to the event graph, and I want to add the loading function on construct. So whenever our character gets into the world, it first tries to load the existing romance level of the character, if there is any. And whenever the character is going to be destructed, I want to save our romance level. So on the event destruct, I'm just going to call save. And then at last, for debugging purpose, I just want to print the romance level whenever the character gets loaded. So we can actually check whether the values are the correct ones. And the last thing I want to do is to clear the save data whenever we start the first level of our playthrough. Otherwise the values keep on stacking. So in the level blueprint, I'm just going to add the remove save slot node. And then I remove our slot. Take into account that this approach might not be the best approach for your application, but just remind yourself that you clear the save data somewhere. Then I'm going to my data assets, and I'm going to check whether these values actually work. I'm simply going to add a modifier on the first selection that we get in our dialogue. Then in one of the other dialogues, I'm just going to add a level, so whenever we select it, we swap levels. And then in the new level, we should see my new values pop up. So let's check it out. And in the first level, we have 0. So whenever I go into the conversation, this should trigger the modification now. And then after this line, whenever I select the second option, I should go to the level and see that my values are actually stored. Cool. And then the last thing I want to check is whether the threshold actually works. So I'm just going to add a little threshold on the first dialog entry whenever we have the multiple options. And it should not be able to load and it's not. So that works too. Awesome. And that's it. Thanks for joining in. And if you have any recommendation on what I should make next, leave a comment. And see you next time. Bye.